Hi, how are you?
I brought you a treat today.
I got a treat. What'd you bring
I
me?
brought you your favorite. It's a
Oh,
chai.
oh, this woman knows the way to my heart.
That's right. So she knows the way to my heart. I know the way to her heart.
That's right.
Enjoy. Cheers.
Cheers. All right, everybody. Welcome to Opening Local Doors with OC. During this podcast, we're going to talk about local businesses, the real people behind them, their stories, and the impact that they have on our local environment. Here at OCCSI, we work every day with small to medium-sized businesses. And one of the things we've learned is that some of us are truly hidden gems. And it's time for everyone out there to know who we are, know the people behind the businesses, and know the impact that we can have on the community that we're providing services in. We've been here 31 years, and I run into people every day that are like, "You work where?" So here we go. We're going to have a nice conversation today with Linda Styer and all things Ellbee. So we're going to talk about Ellbee's garlic. We're going to talk about Ellbee's general store and chai tea. And we're going to talk about Gathering Spot and many other things because this woman's brain never holds still. So, Linda, thank you so much for coming and
Thanks for
talking
having
with me
me.
today.
Yeah.
So let's start with how in the world did Ellbee's get started on I Know How because I know you.
Yeah.
But how did we go from garlic to the general store? Tell us the story.
Sure. 2008, we decided that we were going to get our garlic seasoning that we'd been making for years. We've been making it, giving it away. We decided we were going to get it on the market. And
The only thing is we didn't have a name.
it was just called our secret seasoning. And I was on a road trip and I was like, okay, Lord, I need a name. If this is what we're supposed to do, give me a name. And literally, it's like I heard Ellbee's. And I said, Ellbee's, what is that? And then it was L for Linda, B for Brent. I seen exactly how to spell it. And it was the best buzz your food will ever have. So the next stop, when I jumped out of the truck with that information, Brent knew life was going to change.
I'm feeling Brent knows that a lot.
And it did. So for 10 years, we traveled all over the country. He went one way, he had a team, I had a team, and we sold garlic. And that got old after a while for me because it's so hard work doing the booths and tearing up, down, and driving. And in the meantime, we had bought the building in 2000 and it was always a rental income. So it has 5 apartments in it and the store. And that was what it was. One of the renters was moving out. We spent a lot of time up there. And Brent says, hey, we should open up a store. Because I had already quit. I was like, I quit. I don't want to be on the road anymore. And I said, well, what kind of store? And he said, a coffee shop. And at that time, Wentzville didn't have a coffee shop. It was just Starbucks and Target, right? And so I said, Brent, you don't even like coffee. He didn't. And so I was chatting with my girlfriend. I was like, you're not going to believe this. Brent wants to open up a coffee shop. And she said, oh, don't open a coffee shop, open a general store with a coffee shop, and then you can sell everything. So we just called up all our friends that we were traveling with for years at these shows and said, send me your stuff. That's how the store started.
That's really cool.
And now we're 10 years old. So I feel like a big girl.
And those of us that remember general stores, there's no age implied there. They were always the cool thing when you were a kid. You could go in and you could buy bulk candy and you could have a soda pop. That's what we called them when I was a child. You could have soda. You could, and mom and dad didn't fuss because things were so expensive because you could buy 1 of something or 3 of something. You didn't have to buy a whole bag of something. So that's about that experience. I think one of the things I enjoyed as my grandchildren are adults now, but when they were kids, they could go in and they would say, oh, can I have that candy? Can I have that candy? And we could buy just enough out of the bulk section for that one kid. And they could all 3 have what they wanted. We didn't have to buy a bag of candy and somebody be disappointed.
The experience is really what we try to provide because grandparents now, we see the trend. They're bringing in their grandkids. Oh, we see them every Wednesday. We see them on Thursdays for soda shots. And it's now these kids are grown and they're driving and they're coming in. And we're like, oh my gosh, you're so big. And here they are. They're driving and now they come in on their own. And so I love hearing that experience of a memory being made. Pretty cool.
And explain the soda shots.
Okay, so every Thursday, all day long, we pull six sodas out of our collection, and people belly up to the bar, and you get to sample 6 sodas, but it's a blind shot. So nobody knows what it is. So you got to taste it, smell it, drink it, and hunt for it. And so after that, you get points. So you get points, say it's a root beer, or you get more points if you say it's Dad's root beer. And that good game goes on all day. And the high score at the end of the day wins a root beer float or a float of their choice. And they got 2 weeks to come get it. And then they leave with one of our little cute color changing souvenir shot glasses. If you bring it back on another Thursday, you get your shots for half off.
There you go. It's more memories.
Yep. And we have some real ringers. They are serious, this game. They're like ringers, we call them.
There you go.
It's good.
And so we did garlic and we did the road trip thing. And then we got the general store that, by the way, has amazing coffee. And for those of us that don't drink coffee, chai tea.
And bubble tea.
And bubble tea and London fog. Oh, my goodness. But then you took it one step farther and you have these amazing little shops that you call the gathering spot.
Yep.
So I know that came from, but tell the folks where that whole thought came.
That property, there was a building there when we opened up the generals. No, was it? I can't remember if it was open with the general store or if it had already, I think it had already been torn down. And so when we opened up the store, that lot was empty. And as far as we knew, nothing was going to go in there. And fast forward a few years and we're like, something needs to go in there, right? Because it's our main street. And I went to the owner of the property and asked him if they would lease us the property and told him the idea. And out of his mouth came, if you can get the city to bite on that idea, I will lease it to you. So then we took steps. There's a lot of steps to get anything through. And we started on that journey, learned a lot. And the city said, yes, we'll play. I went to him and said, guess what? We're going to sign us a lease. So off we went and the gathering spot started. So the whole idea of the gathering spot, it was to be an incubator for small businesses. So small startup, small lease, everything's small because it's 300 square feet, right? So it's small, but it's right on Main Street. And at first we had a food truck there. And so it was the shops and the food truck and the green space for events and stuff. And so we took it over because nobody had stepped up to the plate when it was time to open. And so we had it for about 2.5 years. And then we got back to the original business plan was for incubator. So small businesses that want to take the next step. And so that's where we're at today. So the businesses, they find out real fast. They think that owning your own business is really awesome. They can't wait to do it. But then they find out that you have to be open. You have to work. You have to advertise. You have to, right? Like we do. I love what you said about you've been here for 31 years. And still to this day, people walk in, they didn't know you were here. Right. Same thing at the store. Same thing with the gathering spot. How long have you been here? When did this open? And so every time I hear somebody say that, I remember my dad because he was small business and he would say every day when a new customer walks in our doors, it's a good thing because people are finding you, people are coming to you. They're going to tell people. So it's like new business is growth. I want to hug them when they say it's the first time they've been here, and then I want to strangle them because they live here for 10 years and they've never been.
And probably live right around the corner.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. My personality is if I was going through a main street and I seen a store, I would probably eke the car into the nearest spot, run in and check it out. But not everybody's like me.
There you go. And I think the gathering spot for me for these small businesses is an opportunity to learn and to grow. There's a whole lot of difference between owning a business that you can stay home and let the dog out and take care of the kids and get them on the bus, and running a space and owning a business. And there comes a point in time where a lot of home-based businesses, not all of them, a lot of people take the leap and just run a space, but there's a point where you've grown so much that you'd like to have your living room back, or you'd like to have your garage back, but the car is probably missing its storage space.
Exactly. Yeah.
It becomes very different, which is, I think, one of the lessons that I hear you trying to share is it is a leap. It's a leap in a lot of ways.
It
It's a
is.
leap in faith. It's a leap in learning. It's a leap in knowledge. And the reality of it is that's part of what I want this podcast to be for people is in the small business community that do all kinds of things, that have taken the leap, that have traveled the path. Reach out, ask, pick a mentor, pick somebody you can talk to, but don't try. There's no reason with the amount of us that own small businesses for anybody to have to sit there and go,
Now what?
now what? Has nobody ever done this before? What do I do? So that really is the reality of, to me, and is the lesson I hear you sharing is surprise.
Well,
There's all these things that you have to do.
when they come in, it's really hard for me because I have to back away because it's not my business, right? But we ran it for 2.5 years. We know what it takes. We know the hours. We know how to staff them, and then they do whatever they want, and
Okay.
it's really, that's a lesson to me, and I offer if they ask. But the hardest part really for me is just to watch them maybe stumble. But that it's part of small business. We stumble, but the beauty of small business is you can pivot really fast. If you fall, you get up, brush it off, you keep going, right? You just keep going. Unlike corporate jobs where you stumble, you're probably fired and you have to stumble somewhere else, right? We have a little bit more grace that's involved in our business.
Every way it doesn't work is another way to figure out the next way it might work.
Yeah.
So it's just a lesson learned.
Yeah.
But back to Ellbee's. So it didn't stop with the gathering spot. So the big announcement, the most recent thing, ta-da, word square, insert noise, whatever the problem may be.
Tony, can't you make some noise there?
So there we go.
So we had the food truck and had a lot of good food coming out of that food truck. I don't know. It just never took off. Again, small business, you pivot, right? If that's not working, what will work? And when I read comments from our town and our city, especially Wentzville 411, my gosh, I keep seeing, we need things for families. We need things for date nights. We need things to keep people in town. We need a bowling alley. We need a skating rink. It's like, we love mini golf. I mean, when we travel, take us to the mini park. And we decided we were going to sell the food truck and reinvest in a mini golf. So we put in this cute little 9-hole mini golf. Brent and our buddy Chris from Hammer Time put it all together. It is so cute. We have businesses that have jumped in and sponsored some holes, so they get advertising in all year. And it's so cute. It's just so cute. Yeah, we're getting ready to put up some flags and lights for a little leafy shade because the wind is so powerful going through there that this will kind of help. And so hours right now are Thursday through Saturday from 11 to 8. And then Tuesday, Wednesday is leagues. If you guys want to start a mini golf league, and we have private events. So if you're like all of these homes that do field trips, like the senior homes, we'd love to have you come out and rent the whole space out and have your crew play, have lunch, just enjoy the space.
And do soda shots.
And come on Thursday and do shots. Man, we're the only place in town that you can do 6 shots and still walk.
That's right. and have flavors from your childhood.
Yeah.
So now we've got the garlic, we've got the general store, we've got the gathering spot, we've got mini golf. But I know you're not done yet. So what's next on the list and what's out there that I haven't even visited?
Oh my. The next project was we wanted some land. So my whole thing was, Brent, you can buy land anywhere, but it needs to be under 2 hours because I can relax after 2 hours. And so we found 48 acres out in St. James area and put in this really cute little five spot hookup campground. So it's called Unplugged. So get away, unplug, relax, have fires, cook, we got some great paths for walking. You can bring your side by side and we've got some great paths out there. We're real close to the St. James Park there for trout fishing. So that's really fun. And so, yeah, if you got a camper and you're looking for a hideaway place for the weekend or the week, just call us. We'll set you up and it's really cute. It's so cute. Oh,
So you've done all of that. And I know that your wheels are always spinning. So I'm not really sure that you and Brent are quite done yet. But the whole point of this is to bring what I hear from you is focus on family, focus on some relaxation, focus on local, focus small business. All right, folks, you have to get out of the car to go into Ellbee's to get your coffee, but it's probably going to be a better coffee. So give it a whirl. There's no drive-through to block traffic and get smacked as you're blocking traffic to Lowe's.
we are doing a test.
Oh, yeah. Oh, see, what did I tell you?
So we're going to actually try one of the drive-throughs. So you see all these lines. So we're going to time going through the drive-through, how long it takes to do that, and then how long it takes to park, walk in, have some good conversation, maybe a laugh or two, and go back to your car. And so we're going to have fun with that. Landon and I are working on some fun things like that. Skip the line and come in for some conversation. I realize we don't have a drive-through and there's no way to put one on, but we're pretty fast.
But it's the other things you do have.
Yeah.
The other things you do have. So now that you've mentioned Landon, and I actually got a chance to speak to him the other day. I've known him for a long time, just interacting in Ellbee's. I shouldn't say I know him. I've known him. It's probably a better way to say that. So it's amazing to have watched him grow up, working with you, for you.
Yeah, he's worked for us since he was 4 years old.
And got him old. And so what's the plan for Landon? Where's that taking you?
We have been his only boss. And about 2.5 years ago, I had a conversation with him and I said, buddy, I know we're your only boss, but if you want to go get a job somewhere else, just know that me and your papa will understand. And he was like, I'm good. I'm like, but seriously. And then in my heart, I was like, never. I just never wanted it to happen, but I did want to offer it. And 6 months later, he says, hey, can we have dinner? I'd really like to talk to you guys about something. And I told Brent, oh my gosh, he is going to tell us that he's leaving. And so I made this dinner and we're sitting there chit chatting. He said, can we talk? And I was like, yeah. And I was prepared. I was prayed up and I was prepared for whatever came out next. And he said, I really want to take it over. And I was like, well, you don't know what I did, but I was like, what? So excited. And so it was like, well, what's that look like? You know? And so we determined that we were going to do a 5-year plan. And so we're working that 5-year plan and he graduated. He took some college courses. We've been like handing out the rope and now he does this and he does that and he does this and he does that. And he's doing a great job. But jokingly earlier, I said, he's not paying the bills yet. All of that will come. But he really is learning the foundation of the business and he's learning the marketing of the business. We just went to Vegas to a big candy show and he'd never been to anything like that before. any of you that have been to a convention, right? It's overwhelming. So at night,
Las Vegas is overwhelmed.
yeah. And I had just had knee surgery. So I'm in one of those little carts, and he was so gentle with me, like really kind. And I'm driving the cart down the road, and he's just laughing and filming me because there was no curb to get up on. So he's thinking his Gigi was going to get murdered on the street by a car running over her in her cart. That didn't happen, but we had a great time. And he learned. He was like, how do you make the decisions? How do you know what to buy? How do you know what's going to sell? So he's really watching and learning and asking a lot of questions. And it's really interesting seeing him change his personality from being a barista to a future owner. And we get compliments on our staff all the time because our staff is so unique with customer service, all of them. And so it's really cool seeing him come out of his shell.
So that's part of small business to me too, is family, the real people.
Do you have
And-
family working here?
No, really good friends. Our son Ryan steps in every now and then, probably could do this, but
Okay.
isn't working here at this point in time. But that's the other nice thing about a family-owned business is family doesn't have to be family by blood. Family becomes family
True.
by being around. And in small businesses, it's a little bit different because you love each other, and then one day you hate each other, and then the next minute you love each other again. So it's really a good thing. But I want to thank you for coming, and I'm waiting to hear what the next thing is that's going to come out of that mind of yours, because it's always the whirling dervish. Folks, small town America is Main Street.
Yeah.
Main Street, Wentzville, sort of comes, it kind of sort of goes, it ebbs, it flows. We're working on it. Lots of people are working on it. But Ellbee's is there. It's trying to make it family oriented, trying to make it family friendly. Give it a shot, try it out.
It's worth the trip.
Yeah.
To
Go-
Ellbee's.
Go play some putt-putt, come on out, make some memories. That's what life is about. When your kids are growing, it's about discipline and learning, but it's also about the things that they'll remember when they're my son's age, who we won't talk about, but his children are grown, and we still talk about little things that we did together when he was growing. So it's about that. If you know a small business local to St. Charles County or Lincoln County, please tag them in this video, have them reach out. They can reach out to Linda. They can reach out to me. I would love to have them. This is all about introductions of small businesses to the community that they serve and learning about the stories and the people behind those businesses. So our next guest will be Brad Hoff, who owns Direct Automotive. He is a mobile mechanic, has a shop in Troy, and also sells cars. I've had him to work for me. He's amazing. He is a small family-owned business that's out there working hard to survive. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Ann. It's
you're-
been so fun.
It's amazing, and you and I will giggle some more in a minute. But anyway, thank you, folks, and catch us again next week. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.